And that's what he would say. Don't be shaped by your culture. God has put you where you are, so don't run away from it. God put Joseph there in Egypt and Daniel in Babylon. And, I mean, that's where we are. But we
Mhm.
need to be in that world. But then we need to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. We need a different way of thinking. That's where this intellectual integration kind of thing goes.
Always
How do
good.
we help techies and business people and artists and blue collar workers to find things in their biblical faith to take to work? Because transformed by the renewing of your mind is not vague, but so you may discern and live out what the will of God is. And as I always say to people who are terrified that I'm talking about a tribal God that or an American God or an evangelical God, I say, no, I'm talking about what's the will of the God who created everybody.
Mhm.
What would be right in the eyes of the God who created Palestinians and Jewish Israelis and Muslims?
Mhm.
What's right in the eyes of that God who loves every one of those people, not just Americans or Canadians or Protestants or something like that? I mean, I am an American. I am a white guy. You know, I feel loved by God, but I don't feel like that privileges me in the eyes of God at all. I'm just one speck of humanity alongside all the others, and God loves those other specks. So when I try to decide what's the right thing to do in my business, I got to ask what's right for my customers, what's right for my coworkers, my boss, the investors, the people who experience the side effects of the business or the school where I teach or something. And that is difficult. That's hard work to find the ethics of freedom. And Ellul spins out some of the things that he thinks it involves, but he often says, this is what I think. And sometimes fiercely he says what he thinks. But he really, this is what I love about him, and it's the kind of ongoing thing.